Hey guys, you know what time it is, another QuinBoxed, and this time we're going to look at some interesting stuff. The new, I need to dig it out a little bit, the new Dig-Uno and Dig-Quad pre-assembled are all going to be 24 volt compatible. So I've been ordering test LEDs and test LED strips and stuff like that, you know, to verify and test that they're actually 24 volt compatible, and there's going to be some interesting types in there. Then there's also going to be a sneak preview of the QuinLED-ESP32 Ethernet POE, but there isn't going to be a POE board. Or is there? Well, I might leave you a little bit more longer in suspense for that, because that's going to be a dedicated video or maybe a live stream. But for now, let's look at the packages. Right. So, first package, and I guess we'll start with an LED light immediately. This one says cob LED light. Okay. I don't remember ordering any downlights that are cob. Let me, I guess do it that way. No. This is some sturdy packaging here. So is it cob LED strip? We've looked at that before. The ultimate addressable LED strip is also a cob LED strip, or cob type. So I don't actually know what's in it, or if it will ever come out. I think I can grab it. No. Yes. No. Maybe. Release yourself from the packaging. Okay. Well, this isn't very cob LED strip-like from what I can see. It looks just to have normal LEDs. It's packaged like up to the wazoo here. So let's see if we can open that easily. Looks okay. Wow, I mean, who went through all the trouble of doing this? Okay. 12 volt. I believe this is just some WS2815 12 volt 144 LEDs per meter LED strip I ordered. Not sure where the package said cob LED strip, but okay, sure, nice. Okay, well, I was waiting on that to do some testing. Okay, let's move on to the next package. LED strip light. I wonder what's in here. I guess I should call this the QuinBoxed LED edition. But then, aren't they all? I mean, you know. Okay. I think it's actually the same thing we just unpackaged. Let's see here. Yes. It is WS2815 144 LEDs per meter. Awesome. Okay, well, I did order two. I know that, but it's funny, like the next package. Okay. It's LED strip light. Wow. Okay. Oh, well, this is different. Right, okay. Oh, right. I was waiting on this one. This one is very interesting. This is from GreesLED. Oh, it says it on here, I think. Yeah, GreesLEDs or GreesLED or whatever you want to call that. These are 240 LEDs per meter. And I need to get this cable out. Okay. So I can show you. So most LED strip, or a lot of them, are nowadays 120 LEDs per meter, but these are actually 240 LEDs per meter, and then it's a CCT strip, which is supposedly CRI 95. Well, I have my own spectrometer, so I can measure that nowadays. But being 240 LEDs per meter, it doesn't have the downside normal CCT strips have, because if you have a CCT 120 LEDs per meter strip, only 60 LEDs per meter are of a certain color. So if you want to run warm white, well, you're only running half. In this case, you actually get 120 LEDs of each color per meter, so 240 LEDs per meter in total. And, well, they look good. Strip feels quality enough. And up till now, the GreesLED products have actually been quite good. So I'll probably test these in some dedicated video in the future at some point. But from previous track records, this should be pretty good. Okay. Well, let's continue with... You never expected it, didn't you? LED strip. Oh, nice. I could use some good LED strip. My drawer with LED strip is going to explode. Oh, this is a chunky LED strip. What is in here? Right. Okay, yep. So, as I was saying, I wanted to do some 24 volt testing. And, well, this is... Ooh, okay, for that. This is 24 volt WS2811 strip. But then, instead of having... because it's 24 volt, you need to have 6 LEDs per section to basically voltage drop, because each LED needs about 3 volts, and that's why a 5 volt strip is per 1 addressable, a 12 volt strip is per 3 addressable, and a 24 volt strip is per 6 addressable. But the way they solved it in this strip is by making it wider, so you actually have 6 LEDs per section, as you can see here. But now it's not spaced longer up until here. So that'll give a very different pattern, just basically more light, than if they were spaced out this wide. Now they're only this wide. So maybe then the per 6 addressable isn't as much as a problem as it would be otherwise, lowering the definition of the LED strip, basically, or the resolution, or whatever you want to call it. So that's worthy of a test. And being 24 volt, voltage drop should also be much easier to manage. We hope. Of course, future videos about all kinds of stuff like that. You never guessed it. Well, you did. It's LED strip. Oh no. This packaging, what's going on? They really wanted this one to arrive. Yup. Okay, well, it did. It looks intact. Or the packaging at least does. No labels. Okay, let's see what kind of LED strip this is. Well, this actually shows what I was just talking about. If I can get the connector. This, again, is 24 volt LED strip, but this is a different chip that is actually RGBW. So as you can see from the LEDs here, these are RGBW LEDs, and each section has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 LEDs per chip. So these are spaced much further apart, but then they have the advantage of being RGBW and 24 volt, so a lot less power injection again. And yeah, most of these come in silicone sleeving because they're meant for use outside. Inside you can often power inject and stuff like that. But I get that if you're doing this stuff outside, a 24 volt RGBW LED strip sounded very interesting to me. And I believe these are using a different chip. It's not the WS2811. I'll put that on the screen somewhere. Right, more to test. But I see these as potentially being very useful in doing like 10 or 15 or 20 meter, or that's 64 feet projects outside. Like I want to do my whole garden, blah, blah, blah. Then those might actually be very nice. Okay. Right. Oh, these have some LED modules. Again, it's for 24 volt stuff. Because, well, the higher the voltage, the easier it is to cable. I'm going to destroy this box. Okay, I'm getting the scissors out. There we go. Much better. Okay, let's just empty it over here. Okay, some rings. Okay. Free goods. Nice. JSD connector. Okay. But let's take a look at the main party trick here. And that is these LED modules. So LED comes, LED, oh, I got a free bug. What the? Okay, let me dispose of that real quick. Okay, I guess there were more free items included than they even thought. So these are modules which have a WS2811 or compatible chip, because it says UCS1904, I believe. Don't know from head. But compatible chip in them, and then they have just LEDs that act as one pixel, basically. So they are a little bit of a different form factor than an LED strip. So, for instance, if you wanted to, I don't know, light up a tree or something, you'd easier use something like this than a strip form. And since these also come in, well, it says it right here, DC 24 volt, I wanted to give these a try. Those should be water sealed, and they can give a very different effect versus what, well, a normal LED strip would give you, basically. And this stuff over here is kind of the rings, so you can make a hole, punch them through, and then screw it in from the bottom side. So the bottom side has to be waterproof, and this side is watertight, and you can mount them like that. Interesting stuff. Certainly useful for different type of projects. So I just wanted to get those, and since these were available in 24 volts, well, I thought it would be a good mix, getting them 24 volts. Okay, some more stuff. Button switch. Yes. It's actually ECZG-Man on Discord, one of my moderators on the Discord chat, who pointed me towards these. And they are basically just a switch. Ah, they included a little panda. Wildlife of China. Yes. Thank you for your purchase. We know you have a world full of choices. Yes, we do, especially on Aliexpress. Thank you for selecting us. We always offer you top quality products and satisfactory service. Wildlife. I'm not sure what about the wildlife. They just have a panda on there. Okay, sure. Whatever. Yeah, but these are switches, and these should all be momentary switches. So they basically, you punch them in and they release automatically. To turn something on and turn something off, or you can hold it, I believe, to do other actions. And I basically got a whole bunch of different types. Oh, these are buttons. I mean, they don't damage that quickly, but they certainly package them heavily. Let me see if I can get those out too. I'm not understanding. Okay, here's a little baggie. Oh, here they are. Okay. Basically, they're just different form factors and different styles. So this one doesn't have anything on it, and this one has the on-off symbol, and they're different colors, different sizes. I really like this big one. I mean, also, yeah, that's a nice sound. Cool. And they have an LED ring that can light up, stuff like that. Again, could be useful in some QuinLED projects where you want to put the controller inside of an enclosure and then have a button on the exterior side to turn them on and off, for instance, or turn the whole box on and off, something like that. And I saw them on Discord and I was like, damn it, now I have to have them too. But I guess that is something a lot of you have while watching a QuinBoxed. So, yeah. Well, we keep going in the LED territory, and that is sleeve connector. Okay. I was planning on some projects outside at some point, and, well, waterproofing becomes a thing if you want to do something outside. And these are basically, well, waterproofing connectors. Oh man, they put the label, okay, whatever. That you should be able to put the cable into this side, screw it into here, and it has 3 positions, so it can take plus, minus, and data. And, oh, okay, need to figure out how to screw this. How hard can it be? Pretty hard, seems. Okay. And well, the other side has exactly the same thing, so it can get, or you can make a watertight connection, basically. Yeah. And the interesting thing was, so you could, for instance, put the wires of the LED strip in here and make sure it's sealed, and then the wires feeding the LED strip in there. But the interesting thing was, they also have T connections. So then if you need to do power injection, you could put the leads of the LED strip in here and go out from here again, but then inject power on this side. And you have to figure out how you're going to hide that a little bit, stuff like that. But if you want to do something waterproof, I thought these looked nice. They are officially IP68 rated. Yeah, I don't know about officially anything. But I think they'll likely work just fine. Okay, let's push those off to the side. Okay. Now then, we get to something that is going to get a dedicated video later on, and that is QuinLED-ESP32 Ethernet, QuinLED-Dig-Uno and Dig-Quad POE. POE? There wasn't going to be a version with POE. No, there isn't going to be a version with POE, but there is a very easy solution to that. And as I said, this will get a dedicated video at some point too. I don't expect you all to watch my QuinBoxed. I mean, it's fun to hang out, but, you know. Oh, yes. This is awe-inspiring. POE, made in China. Generally, the world doesn't consider that to be a better thing. But let's see here. I got different variants. So we're just going to maybe do a live stream or a video to test that at some point. I really liked these, because these are... this is 5 volt. So what this does is you feed it 48 volt POE in. Oh, this one actually does gigabit too. It's not really needed, but so AF or AT POE in, and then it has 5 volt 4 amps out. So we're going to test in a video at some point if we can actually run some LEDs on POE. Because the way it works is you basically put the Ethernet with POE on it in here, and then on this side, this is the Ethernet that goes to a QuinLED-ESP32 Ethernet board. Let me get an example here. There we go. So this would go in here, and then the power could go, well, we'll have to snip it off, or we can use one of the connectors we saw in the previous QuinLEDs. Power would go in here, and you can power LEDs. Now, mainly, I think this solution will work best for providing 5 volt EXT, so you're still going to have a big power supply next to the QuinLED module itself, that you can turn on and off with a relay and just keep the board online with POE. But I'll give in. We'll test how well it works with actually POE power and driving LEDs. So, let's put that back in the box. because that's going to be a different episode. And this is the largest POE... Oh, that's not going right. Let's do it that way. This is the strongest POE inverter, converter, whatever you want to call it, I could find, which would do 5 volt, 4 amps. And your POE switch needs to be able to handle that too. Here's the second one. And I think this would be a 12 volt version. Let's see. It says 48 volt. That's confusing. Yeah, output DC 12 volt 2 amps. So this was a 5 volt. The other one was a 5 volt version. And this is a 12 volt output version for if you want to run 12 volt LEDs, for instance. Oh, they give me lots of cables here. Nice. But as I said, I like this form factor a lot because, well, it has a normal barrel jack out, so it's very easy to just get some wires out of that. Well, we'll move on to the next package because, of course, I can't buy one of each thing, of all the things. I buy lots of the things. My tearing tool works perfectly as designed. Okay, these are basically the same thing but cheaper. As I said, I bought the bulkiest versions I could find. This is output 12 volt, 1 to 2 amp, most likely 1 amp, and it has the cables attached. So again, POE cable goes in here, and power and network comes out separately. So that would negate the need for a POE board altogether, or at least in my opinion, because I believe the cheapest, oh, this is a 5 volt 2.4 amp version, probably more like 1 to 2 amps, and this is a 12 volt 2 amp version. Okay, so this one is officially a bit beefier than the other one, but I believe this one is like $3 or $4, and if it's that cheap to buy an external POE extractor, I don't think I could even build and manufacture the circuitry for that kind of money on top of the ESP32 Ethernet board. So that's what I've been thinking. The idea is out of the hat, whatever. And we'll do a video about that at some point to actually test if that's a viable solution, if there isn't too much interference or noise or some other kind of ground loop that gets created or something like that. Right. That'll get a dedicated stream or video. Okay, let's see here what we have. It says switch, and I think it's part of the equipment I need, or I wanted to test this. And I have some POE switches, of course, but I wanted to have a dedicated one I could also do the testing with. So I got a new POE switch, and I got one here in my office, which I wasn't really satisfied with. It does some weird stuff sometimes. 10 port, full gigabit, 120 watt high power. High power, yeah. Okay. User manual. Yes. Blah, blah, blah. It's POE. Nice. Power cable. And I'm going to keep this box. The switch itself. Okay, it has a normal power socket on the back. It should have grounding. I think the cable is grounding too. You can already see the power supply in there. And then it has 2 uplink ports. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 POE Gigabit ports. And, or it has this VLAN mode. I've never used that really. So you can uplink it, and then you have 8 dedicated POE ports available. This should be fully 802.3 AF and AT compatible, and with 120 watt. It should also be able to provide plenty of power. And as I said, it uses the official standard, so it's not like the passive POE, which forces POE down the wire. This will negotiate with the device and then give it POE if it needs it. And this and this combined, I thought would make an excellent testing setup. So, yeah, that is it for this QuinBoxed. We've gone through all the packages, lots of LED stuff this time, kind of gathered those together, and some interesting prospects of using POE with our LEDs. And we're going to test it. We're going to try and fry these converters at some point during a live stream by just hammering them with power and see when they explode. So watch out for that. Stay subscribed. Thank you for watching at QuinBoxed again. Again, all links and everything will be in my description. Some stuff, as I've mentioned, I've tested and I know it works. Some stuff is new. I've never used this exact model before. So do your own due diligence there until I maybe have a review video or not. Not everything gets a review video. And yeah, thank you for watching. Catch you guys next time. Bye-bye.